Hi, welcome back. My name is Steve with the Center for Practice Transformation, and we are providing these videos in collaboration with the Center for Advanced Studies in Child Welfare on three tools that you can use with your clients to support their change and their growth. In our previous video, we discussed the strengths cards or character strengths cards. And in this video, I am going to give you some instructions about how to use what is called the Today card. If you don't have one in front of you, this is what it looks like. Front and back, it's just a laminated card that can be written on by a client. And so I'll just explain how this works. If you don't have one in front of you, here's what it says on the front. Let's explore what you found meaningful about our time together today. So when do you use this card? Well, you use it immediately after every session. And there are three sentence completion statements listed on the back. And I'll talk about these one at a time. So the first one is, my hope and biggest reason for change is. So how is this helpful? Well, this first one supports us in evoking from a client their reasons why they want to make a change. And for those of you that are familiar with motivational interviewing, this is called change talk. And why is it important for us to evoke change talk or evoke from a client their reasons for why they want to change? Well, research is very, very clear with us, is that clients or any of us who verbalize our own reasons for change are far more likely to make those changes. Certainly far more likely than us telling a client why they should make changes, which sometimes is our habit. Our writing reflex gets kicked in. But this is a way to evoke from a client regularly why it is that they want to make these changes. Secondly, has to do with the second question, which is my greatest strength to support change is. My greatest strength to support change is. In our previous video on character strengths cards, we talked about the importance of evoking someone's strengths because it's so easy for us to focus in on what's wrong with ourselves and others versus what is strong. And this question helps, once again, to bring back the strengths that we have identified, that we have evoked from a client with examples for them to give us what their strength is and evoke that of how they are going to take that strength and support themselves in making the difficult changes that they want to make. The last statement is, one small step I will take today is. Over 2,000 years ago, Lao Tzu wrote the Tao Te Ching. And in the Tao Te Ching, he said, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Well, for most of us, it turns out that that first step is the most difficult step to take. Amazingly, once we take that step, it's like a project becomes so much more easier than we even thought it would be, simply by taking that first step. So by identifying that step, our client is telling us from the session that we just had how they would like to apply what they learned in the session. Another really helpful benefit of the Today card is that we get feedback about the session that we just had from our client. I've often been so surprised when I've used this tool to find out what the client actually found helpful. It may have been that I had listened well. It may have been a certain piece of advice that I gave. It may have been another aspect of the session that I didn't even realize was particularly helpful. I also sometimes have gotten feedback as to what wasn't very helpful, or might have been something I thought was the best part of the session, and actually the client didn't really resonate with that particular part at all. So we get really helpful feedback about our session. Well, when do we use this? We use it at every session, right at the end of the session. It doesn't need to take any more than just a couple of minutes to jot these things down. But when you first introduce it, be patient with your client. I don't think our clients are used to us asking these kinds of questions at the end of a session. They're probably far more likely to go home and talk to somebody about what was not very helpful about what we did or what actually was helpful in the session, but not so much giving us direct feedback about the session. So be patient with your clients in filling this out, and we wish you the best in using the Today card, and we'd love to get your feedback about your experience with this session. You can email the Center for Practice Transformation or Center for Advanced Studies in Child Welfare and let us know how you're using this tool. So thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you on the next video.